Do you have more confidence in the Cowboys or the Seahawks to get the job done this weekend?
I'm a Cowboys guy. So, I've been on the Cowboys bandwagon and the Jason Garrett bandwagon specifically since way before they started going this winning streak. I had text beef with Stephen A. many times because I thought he was wrong about Jason Garrett, and I continue to think that he's wrong about Jason Garrett. Over the last several years, Jason Garrett, they had a rough start to the beginning of his tenure there, but the last few years, he's been really good. When Tony Romo went down, they went 13-3. Can you imagine any other coach being able to go 13-3 when you lose your starting quarterback? They went 13-3 and then lost in the playoffs because of the catch rule. And, that was because of the Aaron Rodgers crazy pass on the sideline to Cook. The year prior to that, or 2 years before that, was because they lost because of the catch rule with Des Bryant. So, he hasn't been bad. He gets bashed a lot, I think in part because of the way he looks. He's kind of funny, easy to make fun of, and because it's in Dallas where you get a lot of scrutiny. But they've done a good job, and you look at the job that they've done this year. They brought in Amari Cooper, and they have involved him in the offense quite effectively. They're 7-2 since they brought in Amari Cooper, with the exception of that one game where they didn't score any points. But other than that, they've been really good and really impressive. And I think we should, if we're going to bash Jason Garrett when they underachieve, we should credit him when they overachieve. And I think that they will beat the Seahawks, because the Seahawks, frankly, they have overachieved already. We didn't expect much from them this season. Their defense isn't as good as it needs to be to compete in the playoffs.
I get nervous about Russell Wilson against the Cowboys, especially in the playoffs. I was thinking back to when Seattle went to Carolina and played Cam them the Super Bowl year, and how good Cam them were, and Russ pushed them to the edge and almost came out of there with a W. But I'm going with my Cowboys too, because I think Zeke and this offensive line have found themselves. And everything is created after that, right? We talk about Dak. Dak hadn't had gaudy numbers at all this season long. I think he has a 57% QBR this year. That's not that. Technically in the NFL, that's not winning quarterback play when you think about the teams that we see or the teams that we're picking to win the Super Bowl. But with that being said, man, this game is in Dallas. Dallas seemed to turn over a leaf when Jerry Jones put it out there like every game is a Super Bowl. Because to me, what that means is being in that organization, you're going to get fired if you don't get this done. So a lot of things have happened. Jason Garrett was pushed, and I think he coached more freely. I think Linehan coached more freely and called offense more freely. Dak played freely, because once you don't have anything to lose, once you know what the landscape is, which Jerry made it very clear, it's this or bust, you can go out and just play with freedom. Now, either you're gonna be looking for a job somewhere, or you're gonna make the best of what's happening. And the fact that they've gotten in the playoffs with their formula that made them good the 13-3 season, I give them the edge against Seattle.
Uh-oh, what's coming?
So you trust Jason Garrett, right? You trust Jason
do.
Garrett? You trust Jason Garrett?
In this game.
So
I trust him.
And you've been riding with Jason Garrett.
Me and JG go way back.
You've been riding with Jason Garrett, because I sure hell don't. I don't trust Jason Garrett at all in big situations like this. Here's my thing. Here's my thing with Dallas. We saw it early in the year, is that with this failure of staying true to your identity. And a lot of times with these offensive-minded coaches, they kind of get blinded by, the kind of the shiny things. They want to be able to throw the ball and do all those type of things. Where with the Dallas Cowboys, their formula, first of all, their identity is on defense. Yep, that's where they're going to win the football game. If Dallas is going to do anything in the postseason, it's going to be defense, and it's going to be running the football with Zeke. Okay, and when you're talking about an offensive-minded coach like Jason Garrett, I know what happens in situations. These guys want to start slinging the ball, throwing the ball all over the place. And I trust Pete Carroll, because I've seen Pete Carroll in big-time situations. I've seen Russell Wilson in big-time situations. They got the most potent rushing attack in the National Football League. Their defense is actually playing pretty well. They got the components to go anywhere and play and win football games in Seattle. They got the pedigree. They got the They got the better coach. They got the better quarterback.
They don't have the better team.
So I'm picking the Seattle Seahawks to win on the road.
They don't have the better team. I think they have overachieved, and making it to the playoffs right now is an achievement. I don't think that they believe that. They're going to try, and they probably expect to win. But I would pick Pete Carroll, too, if it was a matchup between two evenly matched teams. They aren't evenly matched. The Cowboys are a better team.
So wait a minute. Are you making it seem like there's like a huge disparity between the Dallas Cowboys and the Seattle Seahawks?
I think there's...
Where is that at?
I think there's a large talent disparity in what the Dallas Cowboys have on their side than what the Seahawks have on the other side. At the most important position, I think you're right. Russell Wilson is better. And I understand your point. Coaches don't get a lot of credit for drawing up a great run scheme. So I think they like to kind of show off a little bit and put some fancy passing patterns in there so that they can show off. But I think that this team is better than that, in part because of Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett was a career backup quarterback. He is fine with not having a spotlight, which is why I think he's perfect for that job, which is why he fits quite nicely into Jerry Jones's shadow.
What has Jason Garrett done in the postseason?
Well, he's lost 2 very close games. But
what has he accomplished? He hasn't accomplished anything.
He's accomplished plenty. He's a good coach.
In the regular season, we're talking about the postseason.
He's only been to the postseason a few times.
And how long he been in Dallas?
With this team.
Let me ask you this. Everything you just said based off the pass with Seattle and Dallas, right? Mm-hmm. Everything you just said based off the pass.
Not even the recent pass, the way pass.
The way pass. Who's the better team when the playoff game is played this weekend?
That's an easy answer.
Who's the better team?
Who's the better team when Dallas and Seattle plays this weekend?
I'm taking Seattle.
Are you taking Seattle based on history?
I'm going to tell you.
Who's the better team?
No, I'm taking Seattle because Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. That's why I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks. When it comes to postseason, okay, and all things being similar or equal, I'm taking the quarterback who's been there and done that.
All things aren't similar or equal.
Wait a minute, there's not a big disparity.
I'm taking the defense that put Drew Brees to sleep.
Okay.
And that's who I'm taking.
And the team that got blanked in Indianapolis.
We're not talking about that.
We could flip it either way.
We're not talking about that.
All right, guys. Well, the Cowboys, they are 1.5-point favorites at home.
Cowboys.